Thank you, Dr. Neha. Thank you, Hindi team. Now we are moving to today's English session. As usual, we'll begin with a prayer. Good evening and welcome everyone for today's webinar. Today is our 2044th day of continuous webinar. Today's our guest is Dr. Wani Chang. Dr. Wani, have you joined? I cannot see her name here. If you have joined in another name means please, Dr. Wani. You have joined. Okay. Okay, doctor, I made you as a co-host. Okay, Dr. Wani, she's MD.
Yes.
She's MD in homeopathy and DNHE, and working as a professor in the Department of Practice of Medicine in Gandhinagar Medical College, Gujarat, and she have 12 years of clinical experience. Today's our subject is study of homeopathic management in hypothyroidism. You are most welcome to IFPH.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay. Now you can start, please.
Okay. So I'll hello everyone. Today we'll talk about basic practical tips. We'll talk about few cases of hypothyroidism or few cases related with hypothyroidism, right? So we'll start with the basic things. Basic. Let's just brush up our basics with thyroid hormones, thyroid gland. So we usually know some things about thyroid hormone, that it helps for fertility, it helps for weight loss, it helps for general development of all the organs. But let's just have 1 or 2 minutes for it, and we'll just brush up all about the function of thyroid hormone. Let me just share my screen. uh, yeah. I'm not able to share my screen.
Why? Let me check again. Yeah, you are the co-host now. You can share. Have you shared the press the share button?
Yeah, I'm pressing share button.
Ah.
Okay. Can you see the PPT?
Yeah, hypothyroidism practical.
Okay. Yes. So let's just talk about the functions of thyroid hormone very quickly. The first thing, why this is important, because whenever we read in materia medica, whenever we read medicines, specific medicines like kali carb, like calcarea carb, iodine, so if we remember each and every symptom of thyroid gland, then and thyroid hormone, then we can connect all the symptoms with in respect to the thyroid hormone, right? So let's just have a look. First thing is increase oxygen consumption in tissue, then it increases the heat production. So now we can understand that in hypothyroidism there is cold intolerance, there is heat intolerance. And with respect to that, there is a medicine calcarea where there is cold intolerance. In iodine there is heat intolerance. So now we can, if we remember each and every symptom, we can connect it with the materia medica symptom, which sometimes we feel it is a common symptom, right? So increases heat production, that is also a symptom of thyroid hormone. Next thing is it controls the body weight balance, that we all know, right? Next thing, it increases the lipolysis. So with the help of thyroid hormone, we can have the process of lipolysis, and from the fat we can get the energy. And that is why whenever we start the thyroid hormone, or whenever we treat a patient for hypothyroidism, we assume some form of weight loss in those patients, right? Next thing is there is decrease in serum cholesterol. So we all in our practice must have seen such patients where there is hypothyroidism, and in such cases patients cholesterol levels are very high, and patient is also taking some form of statins to manage the cholesterol levels, right? Next thing is it in physiological level, it helps in protein synthesis and growth. So even to build a muscular body, to have a good protein buildup in our body, we need a thyroid hormone. For skeletal growth, for bone maturation, we need thyroid hormone. Next, thyroid increases the heart rate. So now we can read the medicine like spongia, like cactus, with this angle, heart rate. In your hypothyroid patient or hyperthyroid patient, if you have changes in heart rate, you can see it as a symptom of thyroid issue, and you can find out a remedy, right? Next, thyroid hormone can increases the cardiac output. It increases the gut motility. So in hypothyroidism patient, we get the symptom of constipation, or in hyperthyroidism we get the symptoms like frequent stool frequency has increased. Next thing is it maintains the menstrual cycle for ovulation regulation, for fertility, even for libido we need thyroid hormone. Next is it maintains the skin hydration. Very commonly patient is having dryness of skin in cases of hypothyroidism. And there are like a very specific remedy for dryness of skin. For thyroid issue, one of the remedy is thyroidinum, where there is a prominent symptom is skin dryness. Usually we think skin dryness is a very common symptom, but if we look at it as a thyroid hormone symptom, now we can connect it that this is also can be a pqrs symptom when we are selecting a remedy for a thyroid medicine. Next thing is it stimulates erythropoiesis. So in some patients you will see that in cases of hypothyroidism there is also decreased hemoglobin levels. Next thing is for development of fetal brain and for myelination of nerves, thyroid hormone is very important. Okay, so these are the basic symptoms. These are the basic functions of thyroid hormone which we need to remember, right? Because whenever we have patients with thyroid issues, we have to list out that these are the common symptoms of thyroid gland we have in patients, right? So in follow-ups, these are very helpful. In follow-up we can ask whether these symptoms have reduced or not. Okay, so now we'll talk about the basic tips of uh, seeing some patients, right? Just a second. Okay, let me again share my screen. Yeah, so now we'll talk about lab investigations. This is very basic lab investigations we are talking about. So T3, T4 and TSH, these are the basic thyroid panel. TSH is thyroid stimulating hormone, T3 and T4 are thyroid hormones. So in case of hypothyroidism, we usually find out that TSH is at higher side in most of the clinical cases, not all clinical cases, and T3 and T4 is decreased, right? Next thing, if we are suspecting that patient is having autoimmune phenomena going on in her body, if we are suspecting Hashimoto's thyroiditis, then we'll go for this test also, anti-TPO and TG. So if we find antibodies against this TPO and TG, then we can say that patient is having autoimmune phenomena in their body. Other reports could be thyroid scan or ultrasound. If we are suspecting any kind of glandular involvement where there is glandular swelling of, or if there is any kind of nodules, then we can go for this test, right? So these are the basic lab investigation tests that we do in our patients. Now whenever patient is coming to us, the first thing we have to find out is if there is, if patient is coming to any stages of life, specific stages of life. Like sometimes patient will tell you that since childhood patient is having this hypothyroidism. In some cases parents will tell us that during the time of puberty, patient also had symptoms like weight gain and then dryness or hair fall, and then we get the thyroid hormone checked, and patient was diagnosed with hypothyroidism. So in case of during puberty time, if we are getting thyroid issues, then it is a very specific symptom for us. Next thing is during pregnancy, which is very common. Very commonly many female will come to us and tell us that during pregnancy I had thyroid issue, and now even after delivery it's not resolving, and since pregnancy I'm taking Thyronorm 50 or 100 mg, right? And last one is premature menopause. It could be because of some hormonal imbalance, or it could be because of hysterectomy also. Many patients will tell us that I was having this fibroid or adenoma and I had my uterus removed, and after that I am having this thyroid issues, right? So we have to find out if patient is coming to us during this phase, where they have during this phase if they are having thyroid issues. Why this is important, I'll tell you that we are having this specific rubrics in our repertory. We are having this specific indication in our materia medica. For example, in FATAC repertory, this P stands for FATAC. So in FATAC repertory, we have specific rubrics like goiter, because in old repertory like Kent repertory, Boric repertory, Fatak repertory, you will not find out the rubrics like hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism. You will get the rubric goiter, right? One thing. Second, there is also a rubrics exophthalmic goiter. Okay, so for exophthalmic goiter, you can specifically understand it as hyperthyroidism. Okay, so in Fatak repertory, there is a rubric goiter pregnancy during. And in that rubric, there are only two remedies, that is calcarea iode and hydrastis. So this is a very specific indication, and our job is to find out a good remedy between these two. See, right now I will talk about those cases where there is not much symptom. See, if you are able to find out a good remedy picture, and if you able to find out that this is a Netramur patient, or this is a sepia patient, or this is a pulsatilla patient, then it is a different story, right? But many of the time we find out that there are positive symptoms. If we ask the patient what are the symptoms, patient will tell you, I'm taking Thyronorm 50 mg in morning, and before I had this joint pain, or before I had delayed menses, or before I had weight gain or swelling, right now I'm not having much problem. Okay, and sometimes it is very difficult to find out a peculiar symptom in few cases, right? So in such cases, this smaller tips helps us a lot. Okay, next thing, in Fatak repertory, there is a rubric goiter puberty during. Again, there are only two remedies, calcarea iode and hydrastis. Okay, so these are very good, very wonderful rubrics that we have. Next thing, in Boric repertory, there is a rubric pregnancy and liver complaints during pregnancy, goiter, hydrastis. So in Boric repertory, Dr. Boric has given single remedy for during pregnancy if patient is having goiter or patient is having thyroid issues. Next, in Fatak repertory, there is a rubric goiter menses suppressed from. So it could be due to early menopause, or it could be due to again hysterectomy. There are two medicines, ferrum phos and ferrum iode. I have personally used ferrum iode in many patients with wonderful results, right? So indication, time indication is itself is a PQRS symptom in such cases. If after hysterectomy or after early menopause patient is having thyroid issue, then surely we can think of giving ferrum phos or ferrum iode depending on the symptoms. And last is in Materia Medica, it has written during infancy or during childhood, if the child is having thyroid issue, then the specific remedy is Baraita iode, right? So it is, I have only given reference from Kent, Fatak and Boric, Materia Medica and repertory. So we can surely use this thing while managing a case of thyroid issue. Next thing, whenever we are approaching a case of thyroid, we must see if patient is having goiter, if patient is having swelling of thyroid gland, we must do the examination. First, very basic thing we have to write down in our case paper, if there is specific side. Okay, either you can just see, you can just look at the patient and you can see, or you can palpate that whether it is left side more swelling, or whether it is right side, or in sometimes in scans also it is written that in left lobe or right lobe there is more affection, right? So left or right, that is the basic thing we have to see. Sometimes we just miss out such smaller details, but it is very important. Next thing, very important, is goiter consistency, right? We have to palpate the gland, and we have to feel whether it is hard gland, hardness of gland is seen or not, whether there is knots, if you feel knotty knots in the palpation, whether gland is lumpy, not hard but it is lumpy, right? Whether it is indurated, whether you see the puffiness in patient, whether there is cystic cyst like appearance on palpation if you feel inconsistency, or whether there is tenderness to touch or not. These are the basic things you can find out in your patient, and then we can talk about we can just put it in a repertory or Materia Medica. So there are also rubric like in Kent repertory, there is rubric external goiter right sided. So there are only 8 remedies in right sided goiter, and you can have that rubric in your repertory sheet. Next thing is in external goiter left side, there is only one remedy, that is lachesis. So according to Kent, for left sided thyroid affection, you can surely think of giving lachesis medicine. Next thing is painful goiter on swallowing. On swallowing, if patient is having pain, single remedy is spongia. If goiter is hard, then you can also think of giving spongia. In case of stony hardness of gland, there are only two remedies, that is bromium and calcarea fluor. You know, both the remedies are having affinity for glands. Calcarea fluor, bromium, both are having hardness of glands. Next thing is glands. It is written in Boric Materia Medica that glands have certain elasticity and pliability about them rather than the stony hardness, like calcarea fluor or cystis. Okay, so for stony hardness, we can think of giving remedies like bromium, calcarea fluor, and even cystis. But in case of elasticity, if you feel the elasticity, if you feel the softness in gland, there is a single remedy named as Lepis alba. So our work is finished here. This is the main PQRS symptom which we can find out in our patient. So for softness, for elasticity, the remedy is Lepis alba, right? So this smaller things we have to find out in our case for good prescription, right? So what happens mainly in pathological cases, that we don't get more PQRS symptom, right? So one of the thing we can find out is concomitant symptom. Okay, concomitant symptoms serve as a key investigating guide, right? Because if you find there is normal thirst, there is no past history, there is no family history, but there is just one concomitant, there are no physical general PQRS, no mental general, peculiar mental general, with just one concomitant symptom you can find out and you can reach to a good medicine. As Henneman sir said that in some cases, if you are having one complete symptom with sensation, modality, and concomitant symptom, you can able to find out a similimum medicine, right? For so we I have given few examples of concomitant symptom, right? So for example, in Fatak repertory, there are Fatak repertory is full of concomitant symptom. uh, just take one pathology and just add it in Fatak repertory. For example, even if you add diabetes in Fatak repertory, there are lots and lots of concomitant symptom given for diabetes. Similarly, if you add goiter word in Fatak repertory, if you search for goiter in Fatak repertory, there are so many good concomitant symptoms given. For example, in asthma and goiter, there is single remedy spongia, right? So now asthma is a name of disease, it's a common symptom for us. Goiter or hyperthyroidism, that is a name of disease, it's a common symptom for us. But if we combine two common symptoms together in one patient at one time, that becomes a peculiar symptom for us, and on from that we can surely select a similar medicine. So like asthma and goiter, single remedy has given in Fatak repertory, that is spongia. Next thing, again goiter with diarrhea specific symptom in hyperthyroidism, a common symptom in hyperthyroidism. But again, in repertory it has given just one remedy, cystis, right? Next thing is convulsion or spasm after goiter suppression. So in many cases, in case of hyperthyroidism, you just remove the gland and then patient is given thyronome for the rest of his life. In such cases, after suppression of goiter, if you are having any other problem like convulsions, you can surely go for iodine, right? Next thing, goiter with cardiac pain, again just it has written cardiac pain. Okay, the remedy is single remedy is spongia. Okay, next thing is heart palpitation. Again, heart palpitation common symptom, goiter common symptom. If you combine them, there is a specific symptom, and there is single remedy rubric, phosphorus, right? So in pathological cases, in such cases, just look for any kind of concomitant symptom in your case, right? Next is boric repertory. In boric repertory also there are he has given some concomitant symptom like acne simplex with glandular swelling. Simple. Patient is having acne, patient is having glandular swelling. Single remedy is bromium, right? Next thing is toxic goiter with cardiac symptom. A remedy is cactus. So in general, he has written cardiac symptom. So it could be any kind of symptom, but it is a cardiac symptom with goiter. You can think of giving cactus glandiflorus. In Nair repertory also there are few concomitant symptom, like he has just written ear discharge. No specific mention of color or consistency of ear discharge, just ear discharge with goiter, and he has given remedies, few remedies with it. Okay. Next thing is Ehlman's is also very important in cases of goiter, or in cases of any kind of pathological cases where there is paucity of symptom. But if you are able to find out the ailments from symptom, it is very easy to find out a similimum remedy, right? So I have given few rubrics from Kent's repertory. So, like in Kent repertory, there is written cough pressure from pressure on goiter from. So, because of glandular swelling, there is pressure on trachea, there is pressure on vocal cords, in pressure of okay, and because of that, there is coughing. Okay, and the single remedy is Surainum, which we usually never think of in cases of thyroid issues, right? Next thing from Fatak repertory, face paralysis, goiter suppression from, again iodine. So face paralysis, we also saw that rubric, this conversion from suppression of goiter, there is also iodine. In case of face paralysis, also there is a single remedy, that is iodine. Okay. Next thing is exophthalmic goiter from grief. So usually in cases of ailments from grief, we think of giving Netramur, or we think of giving Ignatia. But in Fatak repertory, there is specific rubric goiter from grief. Remedies are amyl nitrosum and chlorellum hydratum. Chlorellum hydratum is also a specific remedy for urticaria. In cases where you are not having results with Rustox or Dulcamara, you can also think of giving chloratum if symptoms matches, right? So we never think of giving such remedies in case of thyroid issues, right? Again, goiter from menses suppressed, we already saw this rubric, ferrum phos and ferrum iod. Next thing is there is choking, constricting sensation. Okay, or patient is having spasm as if the part is very narrow, right? Single remedy is mephitis. Okay, so these are the smaller tips that we can follow in cases of goiter or hypothyroidism, right? So I have just given few examples because I just wanted to tell you that smaller tips, smaller hints, like ailments from concomitant symptom, you just add it in Fatak repertory and you can get wonderful clinical results. Okay, we can use those remedies which we never think of in giving such pathological cases, right? So just I would again urge everyone to use Fatak repertory, our Indian homeopath, who has given this wonderful thing to us, that is Fatak repertory. Very easy to use. It is in alphabetic order. Very easy to use. You can use it as table side, right? You can just after your case taking, you just open the repertory and you can find out rubrics very easily, right? Now I wanted to share about this remedy thyroidinum, because many of us don't use that remedy. I have studied this remedy in detail. I have followed Dr. Sarkar sir, I have followed other Kolkata homeopaths, and they have given so many beautiful details about thyroidinum medicine. We'll talk about it, and after that I have some cases to share, and I have selected those cases in those uh, where I have used thyroidinum as a medicine. That's why I just wanted to share a brief about thyroidinum medicine, right? So let me just share my screen. Thyroidinum medicine is again wonderful remedy to handle thyroid cases, right? Uh, yeah. So thyroidinum medicine, it is prepared from dried thyroid gland of sheep, right? Again, it is useful in both the condition, in hypothyroidism and in hyperthyroidism. There are few, it is not that well proved drug, but there are few specific pathologies that is covered with thyroidinum medicine. First, it is very specific for psoriasis. I have seen many doctors who give thyroidinum as a medicine in cases of in cases of psoriasis as a sarcode, where well selected medicines fail in cases of psoriasis even, right? Next is tachycardia, that is also a symptom of hyperthyroidism. So in such cases you can think of giving thyroidinum medicine. Next thing, there is a symptom arrested development in children. So we usually think of giving Baraita carb or Baraita iode, but in cases of arrested development in children, we can also think of giving thyroidinum. And if in cases where we have family history or past history of thyroid, known case of hypothyroidism, in such cases we can surely think of giving thyroidinum in cases of arrested development in children. Next thing, it is written, it improves the memory. These are the symptoms from mainly from Boric Materia Medica, and some are from Dr. Sarkar's book, right? Next thing, it has written specifically goiter. Next symptom is excessive obesity. So mostly in cases of thyroidinum, you will find out the patient is obese. In such patients, you will get more better results with thyroidinum. Next thing, it acts better with pale patients, right? So obese, pale patient, so constitution is very similar to calcarea carb, right? Next thing is, there is great weakness and hunger yet loses the flesh. This is a iodum symptom. So you will find both hyperthyroidism symptom in thyroidinum and hypothyroidism symptom in thyroidinum. So great weakness is there. Patient is hungry yet loses the flesh. A symptom of netramure, that is also a good thyroid remedy. A symptom of iodum, that is also a good thyroid remedy. Next thing is nocturnal enuresis. It is also useful in cases of agalactia, right? Next thing is easy fatigue, weak pulse, tendency to faint. Okay. Next thing is palpitation is there, coldness of hands and feet, again a calcarea carb symptom. There is low blood pressure. There is again netramure patient. So you will get the combination of all these drugs, right? Then chilliness and sensitive to cold. Patients are sensitive to cold. Again a calcarea carb symptom. So this is a boric symptom. Boric has written given 1x 3 times daily, right? Next thing is thyroidinum is having a powerful diuretic action. That is why thyroidinum is very good remedy for various types of edema and puffiness. Okay. Next thing, specifically pathology mentioned is memory tumor and uterine fibroid. Okay. So it is again very good remedy for fibroid tumor. Uh, um, uh, when specifically when there is a case of either past history or family history of thyroid issues, right? Next thing is heart. Heart is weak, frequent pulse, there is tachycardia, anxiety about chest, palpitation from least exertion, heart section is weak. All these symptoms is covered with thyroidinum. Next very specific symptom is desire for sweets. Okay, so you can confirm your remedy thyroidinum if in your patient, if there is desire for sweet, that is a very specific symptom of thyroidinum. And nausea, worse riding in car, then rheumatic arthritis with tendency to obesity. So you can also think of this remedy in cases of osteoarthritis, where because of the obesity, ailments from is obesity, right? Peeling of skin of lower limbs. So you will also find dryness in peeling of skin in cases of thyroidism. So these are the things about thyroidinum. You can surely use this remedy. Few doctors uses this remedy in lower potency. Few doctors uses this like 3x or 1x or 6x. Few doctors uses this remedy in higher potency like 200 or 1, right? So depends on patient. We'll talk about the potency while we discuss the cases. Other remedies which are having affinity for thyroid glands are calcarea carb, of course, netramure, lepis alba for elasticity of gland. Kali carb is very similar to calcarea carb. There are few difference, so you can differentiate kali carb and calcarea carb in cases of hypothyroidism. There is calcarea iode, kali iode, iodum, bromium, lycopodium, spongia, lycopus virginicus, zeborandi. Even usually we don't think of giving zeborandi in cases of thyroid, but it is having thyroid affinity, good results. Where there is increased perspiration, hyperhidrosis is a symptom of thyroid, and it is covered with zeborandi. Fluoric acid, cistus, causticum, crotellus. In snake remedy, we usually think of giving lachesis, but crotellus cascavella is also very good remedy for thyroid issues. there is hydrosis, there is iris, which where there is pancreas is also affected, thyroid is also affected, you can think of giving iris. Vipera is also very good snake remedy. So usually snake remedies are very good for thyroid gland, but Crotellus and Vipera and Lachesis and Naja even, these are the good snake remedies for thyroid affinity, right? Now we'll talk about again this Saptarshi Banerjee says about this thyroidinum. There is a video on YouTube from in Dr. Saptarshi Banerjee. He has given 40-45 minutes video on thyroidinum medicine, in which he says that thyroidinum is useful in every stages of woman's life, like puberty, pregnancy, lactation, and menopause. So these are the four stages of women's life where women is having major hormonal changes. And during that, if there is any kind of problem like premenstrual symptom or weight gain or irritability, anger, palpitation, edema, during any of this stage, during puberty or pregnancy or lactation or menopause or hypertension, around these phases, if women is having any such issues, you can surely think of giving thyroidinum, right? Next, it is useful in any kind of overgrowth. So Dr. Saptashi says, just like Sepia calcareca graphitis, you can give thyroidinum after using these remedies, and it is a sarcode, so you can also use it at the beginning of the case, or you can use it at the end of the case. Okay, so we'll talk about this. Also, this is a very important symptom, history of repeated abortion, right? So if you are getting this in your female patient who is a known case of hypothyroidism or a strong family history of hypothyroidism, you can also think of giving thyroidinum, right? Now we'll talk about the cases. Okay, so first case is of multiple plantar cons associated with hypothyroidism in background, right? So the patient was 48-year-old male patient, came with multiple painful cons on both the feet, but mainly around the toes, right? And patient was, the only symptom of patient was there is difficulty of walking because I am having pain. This patient was referred to me by a homeopath. Okay, so it was my friend and his uncle, right, who is suffering from cons. And the my friend told me that I have already given graphitis ointment because there was no other symptom. I tried local con remedies like graphitis 30. I have given Entim-Crude 30, Entim-Crude 200, but there is no improvement, and I'm not able to find any other remedy because there is no other symptom. Okay, so I took the case. I thought that maybe it was his relative, so that's why he's not able to find out any good remedy or any remedy picture. But I took the case thoroughly, but again there was no characteristic mental general, there was no any peculiar general thirst, hunger. He was having a good, very good routine, a very good sleep pattern, was exercising regularly, and he's a normal good middle class man in his 40s, right? So there was no any specific characteristic symptom that I could find out in such patient, right? The only thing I could find out was in past history and family history, there is a strong thyroid history. His father was having hypothyroidism, his grandfather was having hypothyroidism, and patient is also a known case of hypothyroidism since many years, and he was taking thyroid, right? Now usually in female I have find this strong family history, but in very less I have seen male patients with strong family history of hypothyroidism, right? And so, on this basis of strong family history and past history, I have given him thyroidinum 200, right? So, I usually give 200 and 1M, but most of the time in 200 potency, if I find strong family history or past history, right? So I gave him 4 pills twice weekly. So I gave him thyroidinum 200 every Monday and Thursday, right? For 2 weeks, and then 1 week cyclic, and follow up after 3 weeks. Within 3 weeks, he told me that there is complete disappearance of all the cons, and it was like a miraculous result just with thyroidinum. I have never think of before this. I have never think of giving thyroidinum medicine for cons, right? So I have just put this case because I wanted to show that just from past history and family history, you can think of giving this wonderful remedy and you can have this wonderful result, right? And there is no need, I didn't give any kind of ointment or any kind of other graphitis or anything, right? So next case also I have put with multiple cons because this is very similar case. There is a female patient, 33 years old, and she was having multiple cons over her toes. There was cons in clusters, like 7 8 con in one single toe, right? And there was similar distribution in right and left toe. Okay, similar set cons both the sides. Patient told me that she's having this discomfort and pain while walking since 1.5 year. 1.5 years she's having this cons, right? Previously she also told me that she used this graphitis ointment. She searched from YouTube, got or some reel, and she just saw that YouTube video on graphitis, and she from the homeopathic pharmacy she bought this graphitis ointment and she used it for 3 4 months, but there is no relief. And then she came to me again. I couldn't find any much detail from her case. In her investigation, her TSH were persistently elevated around 8 to 10. So I asked her that your TSH is at higher side, and she told me that it is elevated since like last 1.5 years. She told me that every 6 months she repeats her T3, T4, and TSH because some doctor told her that this could be a subclinical hypothyroidism, and in few months you can have decreased T3 and T4. But she told me that every 6 months I repeat my T3, T4, TSH, but my TSH is high and my T3 and T4 is in normal range, so I have not started any kind of thyronum, right? um a doctor advised her to take altroxin, but she didn't take, as she feels that I'll start the medicine if my T3 and T4 is not in normal range, right? Associated features that she was overweight, and she told me that since last 7 to 8 years slowly I'm gaining weight every year. And even though I'm having a brief walking, I do have some yoga, some type of yoga, but just once or twice in a week, but I'm not able to manage my weight. And I have, before I saw her, she showed me the pics 7 8 years before, and she was very slim and trim. And she told me that I have no idea why suddenly I started gaining this weight. There is no history of stress, there is no history of change of major lifestyle. Okay, just one symptom I got was this desire for sweets and desire for chocolates, right? In past history she had this piles, non-bleeding piles, but it was very painful, and that's why she went for ayurvedic surgery for piles, right? So again I gave her thyroidinum 200 thrice weekly, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for 2 weeks along with cyclic. And within 10 days she called me after 10 days and she told me that there is complete disappearance. And she told me that I am not able to believe that cons I am having since many months, and it just disappeared. Okay, so this was uh, a wonderful, it's like magic that within 10 days her con disappears. Okay, so this is uh, a very satisfying case for me. So whenever I'm having this unexplained TSH, or whenever I'm having strong family or past history, I think of, I just giving thyroidinum in such cases. Okay, I keep it in my mind while going through a repertory or selecting medicines, right? Next case is of psoriasis. Wonderful result in psoriasis. There is a 50 years female patient who was having psoriasis on both hands and feet. Okay, duration since last 7 to 8 years. She told me that she has taken homeopathic treatment before for 1.5 year, but I have only 20 to 30 percentage relief. Okay, and then she was tired, and then someone referred her to me, and she came to me and she told me that I just stopped that medicine, and I have come to you, right? Lesions were on both the hands and feet. Patient was having cracks, right? And patient told me that it bleeds occasionally. patient told me very specific symptom that there is thin watery sticky discharge from the eruption. Okay, now we all know there is a very common remedy for thin watery sticky discharge oozing out from the eruption, right? She also told me that there is chronic constipation, and she was a known case of hypothyroidism since many years. In family history, her mother is having hypothyroidism and her sister is having hypothyroidism, suggests a strong background, right? Thyroid background. But in this case, I had this cracks, skin, menopausal age, constipation, thin watery sticky discharge. So I gave her graphitis 30, 3 doses per week, right? So like on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I give graphitis 30 with cyclic. But after 30, after 1 month, after 2 months, I give the again repeat the graphitis 30. But after few months, patient was having 15 to 20 percentage improvement, right? So I thought that I need to give something more to this patient, right? So I thought the maintaining cause, the miasmatic cause, is this thyroid thing, right? So I gave her thyroidinum 200 once a day for 4 days, and after that there is gap of 2 days, and then again graphitis 30 thrice weekly. Okay, and patient was getting better, and again after few months I gave graphitis 200. So there is marked improvement after the few doses of thyroidinum 200. Patient was having better, discharge reduced, there is general improvement. I have also shared photos. See, you can see there are cracks in her hands. This is even after 3 4 months. Okay, I didn't find the earliest photo. This is after 3 4 months of treatment, this photo, right? And now this is after a few months. Patient is still ongoing treatment, because she is still having some eruption on the sides of this ankle joint, but otherwise her hands fully recovered. And soles, if you see in before photo, the soles are also having black eruption and it was bleed anytime. Patient is having much better after graphitis and with few intercurrent, few doses of thyroid, right? And now last case, I'm just sharing my last case. Patient was the chief complaint was migraine since many years. Patient and patient was having all the migraine common symptom, right? That in sun before periods, and anytime, sometimes patient said that anytime it starts. Patient was also having a complaint of heaviness sensation in throat. Sometimes there is occasional difficulty in deglutition because I'm having that heavy sensation in my throat. Patient was also having delayed menses since last few months, and breast heaviness before menses. Okay, and patient was known case of hypothyroidism since last 6 years. Initially, she was taking Theranom to 100, and now after the treatment, it has this patient is also ongoing treatment. Now patient is taking 50 mcg. By the way, in this case, in psoriasis case, also patient was taking 100 mcg Theranom, and right now she's on 25. Right, so we have slowly reduced the dose, and every 3 months or 4 months we repeat the TSH T3T4, and right now she's on 25 mcg. So here also patient initially was on Theranom 100 mcg, right? Patient was also having problem of hair fall. Obstetric history, 3 abortions, 2 abortions at third month, one abortion. In one case, one time she was having some fetal developmental anomaly, and one full term girl child, right? Family history: mother hypothyroidism, father is having myasthenia gravis, and her maternal aunt is having breast cancer, right? Particular complaints: chronic recurrent migraine, aggravation from sunlight, aggravation before menses. There is heaviness sensation. There is occasional dysphagia, delayed menses since last few months, 10 days, since last 10 months, right? Premenstrual breast heaviness, tenderness, recurrent pregnancy loss or abortion, recurrent abortion. TSH is persistently elevated even with 100 mcg. Thyroid patient is having high TSH, and patient is having hair fall, right? So I gave her Netramur. That was my first prescription because migraine, and this recurrent loss, and in her last this 4 month, they have to go for abortion because of developmental anomaly. And she told me that since that abortion, I am heartbroken. I feel why I am losing my children, and I was so much attached with my this baby, and I had to lose him. It was a male child. She told me that because of some developmental anomaly, and after that her migraine increased. So I gave her Netromur 200, and after few months I gave her Netromur 1, okay, at few intervals. There were in general improvement in migraine, in throat heaviness, okay, a general well-being was there. But again in her thyroid panel, there was no response. Again her TSH were still high, even though Netromur is a good thyroid remedy. But after giving Netromur, she was feeling better in her menstrual problem, throat heaviness, but still she was having high TSH, and hair fall was still there, okay. So then I gave her thyroidinum 200 few doses, and after giving thyroidinum, her hair fall reduced, TSH level start decreasing, and this is right now she's taking 50 mcg, okay, and we are planning to decrease the dose after next TSH level, right? So this is her latest report, I guess. Yeah, this is latest report. So in previous report it was 4.37. Now it has come to 2.96. See, ideally in lab they show 5.3. In some labs they'll show 5.1, right? But ideally clinically it is better if your patient is having TSH less than 3, right? Then you can say that patient is okay. So it is better to have TSH below 3, right? So these are the cases which I have shared. I have selected the cases where I have given thyroidinum, right? To give you some hints of using thyroidinum medicine, right? So these are my cases. I just want to say that please read and use thyroidinum remedy. It is very good Sarcode remedy, and also use Fatak repertory. It is very very helpful in such cases, right?
Thank you very much, Dr. You explained the thyroid remedy very wonderfully explained about the thyroid.
Thank you.
And the investigations and all. And your case, your 3 cases gave us very confidence to treat with the thyroid medicine. Thank you.
Yeah.
And actually, the way you explained also very good. Thank you so much. And the participants,
Thank
if you
you.
have any doubt or compliment, you can talk with Dr. Vani, please.
Yeah.
Dr. Yes, Dr. Bonnie, thanks. It's really a very good session. You really rocked the floor with your beautiful presentation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hypothyroidism is one of the area where homeopathic doctors can do wonders, because still because there is no treatment that is for cure in the allopathic system. But here we can offer cure. That's the basic difference. Even though the so-called government machinery says that you cannot claim that you have cured this or that. But frankly, when a patient come over here and showing the report that everything is totally back to normal, then why can't we say that it is cured?
Right.
This is the biggest challenge. This question need to be asked to everyone, because there are certain restrictions. So the government, even our in our homeopathic National Council for Homeopaths also in the guidelines says that you cannot claim that you have cured this. But frankly, if we are not claiming in that way, then what is the purpose of the term cure? That means that there are certain obstacles in allopathic treatment. They are not able to cure certain cases, certain most number of cases, particularly this kind of hormonal problems, as well as other lifestyle diseases, where homeopathy or Ayurveda or eye system can do wonders. So what we require is that whenever we get such wonderful cures, we will have to publish the same in front of the media as well as in front of the people, and not to claim that I have cured, but it is homeopathy has cured. Why can't we claim in that way? Homeopath cannot claim that I have cured this case, but instead homeopathy has cured. Why can't us claim that thing? That's the question I would like to ask. And anyway, congratulations for such a wonderful session, because there may be some other person also talking. If time get, I will come back and make other comments also.
Thank you, Dr. Danish. Dr. Manoj, please.
Thank you, Dr. Vani, your nice presentation. The point Dr. Sanesh raises is most important, and we must think why it happens so. Because the court or the authorities always considering the suggestions or the opinions of experts. Then who are experts? Who is the person who is considered an expert? He should have a legitimate or legal qualification in that subject. Even if one person treated 100 or 1,000 cases, that is not the matter. At the same time, if you're having a recognized degree or diploma or something like that, then definitely that person will be accepted as a qualified person. So we don't have such qualification, some specialists in homeopathy. Then these are the things our experts must, it should pass through their brain. But unfortunately, that wasn't happening for the last 50 or 60 years. We still only have the post-graduation or the PhD courses, but we don't have the specialist courses. Even a lot of persons institutions are conducting these special clinics of thyroid. Some other specialties are there. There is no legitimate course. One point is that, then another thing is that we must the right systems together should pressurize the government to make some amendments, in legal amendments, so that the courts can consider our appeal also. That's the most important thing. Thank you for presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Manoj. And you have told the importance of taking family history without telling anything. We understood the importance of family history, because you prescribe the remedy because of the family history of thyroid history, right? Anyway,
Right.
thank you so much. And Dr.
Thank you.
Sir? Dr. Ramparvesha, sir, you are...
Thank you, Dr. Anjani, and everyone. Namaskar, Manoj ji, Dr. Dhanesh ji. Congratulations, Dr. Bani Chart. Very nice, excellent session, and describe the hypothyroid, but endocrine disorder. Very good. Homeopathic treatment is possible in hypothyroid. Secondary cause, pituitary dysfunction, lifestyle, etc. But electrical disbalance after chemical disturbance. Chemical disturbance, hormonal disturbance after grief, anxiety, anger, etc. Then disturb thyroid, endocrine glands, and endocrine gland disturb, and first SORA, psychotic and syphilitic chronic cases. SORA is functional, psychotic is the overgrowth, and syphilitic is the destructive nature. So hypothyroid is the very good treatment in homeopathic medicine. Sepia, lycopodium, thyroidinum, homeopathic medicine. So very good. लेकिन बट जो है डॉक्टर वाणी फाटक रिपटरी ग्रीफ जैसे नेट्राम्यूर, ग्रीफ इज द नेट्राम्यूर एंड सिपिया. तो ग्रीफ नेट्राम्यूर मेडिसिन इज एमाइल नाइट्रोजम. तो good select according to rubrics Phatak repertory. Another repertory, Kent repertory, another repertory. So very thanks, Dr. Vani.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Parmeshwar, sir. And we have 2 more minutes. If anyone have any suggestion? Okay.
Yes, Dr. Vanichak, what is the prevalence of this hypothyroidism in your part? You are from Gujarat, I think.
Yes, sir. I am from Gujarat, Ahmedabad.
So Gujarat also has a very high length of this coastal area. And what is the present situation in Gujarat coastal area? Because we here in Kerala, I am living in coastal area, and we have noted that the number of these hypothyroidism cases are increasing every day. That we can say that 1 in 30 or 20% can be hypothyroidism thyroid patient nowadays. What is the impact of iodine input and this hypothyroidism in your opinion? Because we people are taking lot of fishes. We people are living in the coastal area. We are getting very large amount of fish, but still more and more iodine salt is being taken by most people, but the number of patients are increasing day by day. Well, actually, in my opinion, or in our opinion, it is not the deficiency of iodine that produces this thyroidism, but the high risk of risk tensions and stress
Right.
is that is the reason.
Right, sir. Even, sir, food adulteration is having a major cause. Right. All the milk we are getting that is filled with estrogen, progesterone injections, the pesticides we are using, and of course the stress factor is there. So all these things matters a lot. Even I have noticed that many health conscious patients are using pink salt and that other types of salt, right? And that is not with iodine. So sometimes I have to tell my patient that just please have iodide salt.
Vani,
Yes.
I'm so sorry to say we have another session at 9.
Oh, yes.
So we have. I'm inviting Dr. Manoj for moderating.
Yes, sure.
Dr. Vani, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
In another class. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Good night.
Thank you.
Handing
Good
over the
night.
session to Dr. Manoj. Dr. Manoj, you're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Vani. घर घर होम्योपैथी, घर घर
Thank you.
होम्योपैथी.
എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം.